My name is Alisa Sikelianos-Carter, and I'm a 2023 artist resident at the Sam and Adele Golden Foundation for the Arts. I like the idea of world building because it speaks to my inner child and my inner adult. I love activating that part of me, like that wonder and that dream space. And so when I'm creating, I feel like I'm being transported to another place. And I feel like the materials can really do that, where I can just stare at a painting and really feel like I'm in the ocean or on the moon or something. That is really exciting to me. I got really excited about the clear tar gel and the leveling gel. These are quite different than what I usually do. The sheen is so different, and so that's very, very exciting. I can already see a whole body work just based on this material. The material is very important. A material can inspire a whole way of working for me. In my practice, I use a lot of glitters and micas, really opulent, abundant material. It's like my fantasy space. Normally in my practice, I do experiment quite a lot because it's just so much fun. I'm usually doing it with the goal of working on a specific painting or a body of work, and so here it was oh, I just can go upstairs and grab anything I want. So I think because I have access to the materials, I did allow myself to really go banana, and will continue to go bananas to work with all of them. I like when things are a little bit off, not perfect. This crazing, these splits, and I love these kinds of mistakes, because then I have to kind of problem solve, and that's what art is about for me. So much of it is problem solving and then seeing what I can come up with. I'm excited to kind of maybe fill them with glitter or another color of interference or something, to use them to my advantage rather than seeing them as a failure. If I were to give advice to my younger self, I would tell her to lean into the weirdness and just get super weird with the work, and don't be afraid to just to get weird.
I realize I can make a painting that is fine, it's pleasant, it works, but until I get to a point where it has a lot of specificity, that's when it comes alive. That's when it becomes more authentically mine. My name is Deborah Zlotsky, and I'm a 2023 artist resident at the Sam and Adele Golden Foundation for the Arts. As an abstract painter, I'm actually interested in stories. Recently, I've made that more generalized pursuit into a focus on growing up Jewish, my understanding of that identity. And so I've been making a series of works that I'm just calling diaspora. I'm interested in things being really flat, but also having a dimensionality, so some kind of contradiction there. Little shadows that are made, things moving into something else. And then certainly the varnish drips start to confirm the surface of the painting. This painting is very loosely based on Nazi diagramming of how they would designate prisoners. So the different triangles were different colors to refer to different kinds of identities. Yellow triangles were for Jews, but other colors were designating homosexuals and criminals and gypsies. So it was interesting to be able to look at this diagramming, have a relationship with the history of that, and in a way, giving myself an allowance to have a conversation with it. This painting is connected to a series that I did a few years ago, which was called the DNA series. And I was making these paintings that were in reference to my elderly parents, them being in this incredibly, almost 70 years of relationship. I was struck by how loyal they are to one another and how incompatible they are. Just thinking about ancestry and lineage, that was really interesting to me. This idea of mother and father and the complexity of that and the buildup of history, that's the kind of thing I think about.
My name's Joy Gerrard, and I'm a 2023 resident at the Sam and Adele Golden Foundation for the Arts. I work in monochrome, and I work on watercolor paper and one single type of canvas. So I haven't experimented much with all these different types of gessos and all these different types of grounds. I'm laying the black ink onto the white paper and then building up layers of watery ink to get the greys and the tone and the depth. It's been really interesting using the black gesso and working back into that with the core white watercolour on its own with nothing else, and seeing how much I can lift highlights and kind of pull the white out of the black. So it's working totally in reversal to what I normally would. Red is quite an emotional colour, and it feels quite different in how the image might get kind of constructed or received. So there's two really different things going on with these images by using the different colours and the different mediums. In the vein of testing the different materials, doing it in a way that has some kind of figuration behind it rather than just little tests, I used a single image, which is a protest in London from 2021 after the death of Sarah Everard, and I just did freehand trying out different colours using the core watercolour. They're tests, but they're also leading on to something that gives me a different kind of information about how to make an artwork and how to construct meaning through the artwork. My work is inspired by current events. I'm interested in how people joining together to protest in these urban spaces place a spotlight onto a subject. We all think about things and we have ideas, and you often think about how you're going to make it. But here at the residency, you are really thinking through the making, you're thinking through the products, you're thinking through all the different technical aspects. And if you marry that with working on a specific image and then seeing what the different ways of producing, both you as an artist looking at it and also your future viewer, I think that's very valuable and really interesting, is that pull and push between the mental process and the physical process.